When the prison ship finally arrived in Australia, a harsh truth was revealed. Almost all the girls on board were pregnant. This amusing story took place in the harsh years of the 18th century, when British prisons became overcrowded due to strict laws. The kings decided to turn Australia into a giant prison by sending all the convicts there. In 1789, a ship carrying 126 female prisoners set sail from England to Australia. They were meant to ease the loneliness of the male convicts in the colony. The girls were between 13 and 30 years old, and every fifth one was underage. In the 17th century, England was ruled by a brutal criminal code, known as the Bloody Code. You could be hanged for stealing a goat or any goods worth 5 shillings, approximately $200 in today's money, or imprisoned for stealing a loaf of bread. Unsurprisingly, this approach led to overcrowded English prisons. To solve this problem, authorities decided to send convicts on ships to a distant colony, Australia, from which there was no escape. In 1787, the first prison convoy brought 1,400 convicts, soldiers, and officials to Australia, followed by more ships. However, the authorities completely forgot that the male colonists at the edge of the world also needed love. To prevent forbidden, sinful relationships, they decided to send women from female prisons. A ship with the romantic name Lady Juliana carried the unwilling priestesses of love across oceans and seas. Young and lively female criminals drove the crew crazy, and the prison schooner quickly turned into a love boat. Every sailor and officer on the ship found a temporary wife to their liking. Fortunately, there were more women than men on board, and all the beauties were willing to make the sailors happy in exchange for a good meal, rather than prison gruel. Soon, the wine cellars were opened. Besides women, the ship carried food from Portsmouth to the island. Everyone started to fall in love and drink together. The ladies were so unruly that the captain, despite his overwhelming joy, had to flog one girl 12 times to restore discipline among the prisoners. The women went even further. Conspiring with the sailors, they began entertaining other men at port stops, earning extra money this way. This love ship was so enjoyable for everyone on board that instead of the planned 158-day journey to Australia, Lady Juliana took 310 days to reach the island. During the entire voyage, only 5 women passed away, whereas the average mortality rate on prison ships was 30%. This meant that mutual understanding and happiness prevailed on board. And when the prison ship finally docked, most of the girls had already given birth or were pregnant. The wild Australian men were not happy to see the ladies at first. They were starving and expecting food. But instead of meat, beans, and rum, the ship unloaded beautifully decorated women with baby bumps and newborns who also needed to be fed. "Ah, you cursed bonnets!" One alpha male couldn't hold back, shouting loudly from the depths of the grim male crowd. But when a transport carrying food arrived 14 days later, the men's mood improved, and they welcomed the women. Thus, the loving and cheerful women from the prison ship became the founding mothers of the state of Australia. Also, watch the video about a prisoner with a harem of 13 girls who gave birth to 5 children. Or about a man who was left alone on an island among women. Enjoy watching.